Sydney continues to be ranked as one of the most expensive cities on a global scale to live in, and it doesn't appear to be slowing down. Today, we're going to dive into the 5 hottest suburbs over the 24-25 financial year in the Greater Sydney region with a median house price below $2 million. Now, according to Cotality, over the last 12 months, the average property in Sydney has gone up by 4%. Despite all of this, there's still some suburbs that are absolutely crushing those averages and are seeing some of the strongest annual growth rates the country has to offer at the moment. Let's dive into it. Coming in at number 5 today is South Hurstville on the southwestern side of Sydney. It's got a median house price of $1.62 million and has seen property prices increase by 19.3% in the 24-25 financial year. Now, what's great is you can still buy a really nice house around the median house price in Hurstville. If we take a look at 110 Connells Point Road in South Hurstville, this 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 4-car garage, low-set brick and tile house on a 445 square metre block, recently sold in October for $1.65 million. Quite a nice home for the area, no doubt about it, located on a nice, quiet, family-friendly street. The fact that this suburb is about 20-25 kilometres as the crow flies from the Sydney CBD looks like a pretty good buy. Coming in at number 4 was Mount Pritchard, that's up 20.3% over the past 12 months. Now, this is the most affordable suburb in Sydney that's still achieving some really strong capital growth rates. The median house price is below the average for Sydney at $1.1 million. In fact, you can still go out there and buy a relatively affordable property compared to the average in Sydney, like 7 Finlay Avenue in Mount Pritchard. This 3-bed, 1-bath, low-set brick and tile house on a 663 square metre block of land, recently sold in October for $1.185 million. Located on a nice, quiet, family-friendly street, this recently renovated property is a nice purchase for people that are living in that region that are just hell-bent on buying in Sydney at the moment. Now, coming in at number 3 with just a 0.3% higher annual capital growth rate at 20.6 compared to Mount Pritchard was Lakemba. It's roughly 15 kilometres as the crow flies to the Sydney CBD, so this is almost as close as you can get without having to spend a ridiculous amount of money to get into the Sydney property market. Take number 6 Barrimer Road as an example. This 3-bed, 1-bathroom house on a 505 square metre block of land, recently sold in September for $1,515,000. Now, I know these numbers are staggering in comparison to markets like Brisbane and Perth and Adelaide, but let's be real, Sydney is one of the most expensive cities in the world, is one of the most desirable cities in the world, and to think that you can still get some reasonable value for around that $1.5 million mark, and we're seeing these suburbs increase at more than 20% according to the Domain report. That's just an incredible return on investment, especially considering that the average property in Sydney is only up 4% over the last 12 months. There's still some suburbs out there that are absolutely smashing those numbers. Now, coming in at number 2 is Bankstown, which is just a couple of suburbs west of Lakemba. We're seeing a current median house price of $1.48 million and an annual growth rate of 21.9% over the 24-25 financial year. So it appears that little pocket around Bankstown is performing really well at the moment, where you can still get some relatively nice houses at an affordable price compared to the average in Sydney. We've got another great example here, 74A Conway Road in Bankstown. This beautiful, well-presented 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom house on a massive 697 square metre block of land, recently sold in October for $1.68 million. So you get a big house on a big block in a nice street, well located to all infrastructure, amenities and major arterial roads or public transport options. So if you've got big money to spend or you're planning to invest in Sydney and hold for the long term, say 15 plus years, then we know Sydney has a proven track record of performing really well, and it's still been absolutely crushing it in the last 12 months according to this data. Now, Sydney's top performing suburb with a growth rate of 37.2% in the 24-25 financial year and a median house price of $1.255 million, South Wentworthville, one of Australia's top performing suburbs over the 24-25 financial year. It is absolutely mind-blowing that there is still suburbs increasing by over 35% in Sydney. They've been crushing it for the last 10 years. This suburb that's located about 25 kilometres directly west of the Sydney CBD has been an absolute top performer. right near Parramatta. We know that area has been performing really well of late, and it's still absolutely crushing it. You can still go out there and buy an incredible property like 15 Hayes Avenue in South Wentworthville for $1.2 million. It's a small, low-set brick and tile, 3-bed, 1-bath, 543 square metre block of land, but on a nice quiet street, not too far away from the M4 to get that ease of access into the city. Insane capital growth rates in South Wentworthville. If you had have asked me 12 to 18 months ago, will there be any suburbs in Sydney that see an above 35% annual growth rate? I absolutely would have not predicted that, and I don't think I would have had the confidence to put my money there. But look at me, I've absolutely lost out massive on that opportunity. It's really interesting to see that even though the average property in Sydney is only up 4% over the last 12 months, there is some particular locations that are absolutely smashing that.
G'day guys, my name's Ben and I'm the director here at Pumped on Property, and I just want to say a massive thank you for watching our content today. Now, if you're thinking about buying an investment property in the next 3 to 12 months, then the team and I would love to offer you a one-on-one strategy session. In that session, we can talk about exactly where you are right now, where you'd like to be longer term, and we can deeply educate you on the Australian market. And then you can take that information and go and absolutely smash it on your own, or potentially become one of the small number of clients that we work with each week. To book your session, all you have to do is go to www.pumpedonproperty.com and click that book your free strategy session button. But either way, we wish you all the best on your journey as an investor to financial freedom.